Urban Unlimited, God Level Lore Chapter 5, Seeds of Trust, A Clash of Data Analysis. The shadow of the abandoned hospital, like a lingering nightmare, clung to Ling Chen's mind. The sickening stench seemed to seep into his very bones, reminding him of the cruel reality of the infinite realm. After the brief clash with the mutated zombies, the atmosphere within the team suddenly shifted. Li Ming's arm wound had been staunched, and the advanced anti-infection agent suppressed the spread of the virus, but he was still shaken. He clung tightly to Ling Chen, his shield held even tighter. Suyu, on the other hand, maintained her icy composure, as if the previous battle was merely an insignificant calculation, unable to stir any ripples within her. "The next area is the radiology department," Suyu's voice broke the silence. The screen of the tablet in her hand displayed a rudimentary hospital map, marking the location of the radiology department and some scattered data. Based on the hospital's structural diagram and the zombies' activity patterns, the radiology department has a higher risk factor, and may contain higher-level mutated creatures. Ling Chen nodded, already accustomed to Suyu's precise and efficient information analysis. With her addition, it was like having a humanoid supercomputer, capable of integrating and analyzing all kinds of complex information, thereby deriving the best course of action. This was exactly what he needed, an intelligent partner who could fight alongside him. The characteristic of the radiology department is lead shielding, which can effectively block radiation, but it also means limited visibility and vulnerability to ambushes, Suyu continued, her fingers sliding across the screen, magnifying a floor plan of the radiology department. "I suggest adopting a segmented approach. Li Ming is responsible for scouting ahead and defense, I am responsible for rear guard and data analysis, and Ling Chen is responsible for core combat." "No problem," Ling Chen agreed to Suyu's suggestion without hesitation. After the previous battle, he had a preliminary trust in Suyu's abilities, knowing that her judgments were often accurate and reliable. Guaranteed to complete the mission. Li Ming also puffed out his chest. Although his arm was still throbbing slightly, he didn't want to lose face in front of Suyu, and tried to show his worth. The team set off again, this time more cautious and more efficient. Li Ming, holding a shield, walked in the forefront, carefully scouting the way, and no slightest movement escaped his eyes. Ling Chen followed closely behind, the dagger in his hand flashing with cold light, ready to deal with emergencies. Suyu walked at the rear of the team, her eyes constantly scanning the surrounding environment, and various data was constantly refreshing on the tablet in her hand. Soon, they arrived at the entrance of the radiology department. The heavy lead shielding door was tightly closed, covered with dust and scratches, exuding a depressing and dull atmosphere. "The door lock is damaged and can be pushed open directly," Suyu said, her fingers tapping a few times on the tablet, and the screen showed an X-ray image. Inside the X-ray room, there is a strong source of radiation, and prolonged exposure may cause damage to the body. It is recommended to make a quick decision. Ling Chen took a deep breath, walked to the shielding door, and pushed it open with force. Squeak! The shielding door made a dull rubbing sound, slowly opening, revealing the inside of the radiology department. Like the corridor outside, the interior of the radiology department was also a mess. Broken glass bottles, scattered medical devices, collapsed instruments and equipment, everything was in chaos. The air was filled with a pungent smell of disinfectant, and a disturbing metallic odor. "Careful!" Li Ming suddenly exclaimed, and the shield in his hand slammed forward, blocking a shadow's attack. Roar! A huge mutated creature appeared in front of them. Its body was like a monster twisted by radiation, its skin was a strange green color, its eyes were blood red, and it roared in a terrifying manner. "It's a mutated radiation beast." Suyu's voice carried a trace of solemnity. "According to data analysis, its attack power and defense power are far higher than the previous mutated zombies, and it also has a certain radiation ability. I'll deal with it." Ling Chen shouted in a low voice, his figure rushing up like lightning. He knew that facing such a powerful mutated creature, he could only make a quick decision, otherwise prolonged exposure to the radiation environment would cause great damage to his body. Although the mutated radiation beast was huge, its movements were exceptionally agile. It waved its huge claws and pounced on Ling Chen. Ling Chen flashed aside, dodging the mutated radiation beast's attack, and the dagger in his hand stabbed at its joints like a poisonous snake. Pucci the dagger accurately pierced the mutated radiation beast's knee, bringing out a stream of green liquid. The mutated radiation beast let out a painful roar, and its body shook. But the mutated radiation beast did not fall because of this, it became even more frenzied in its attacks. It waved its claws, attacking Ling Chen like a storm, smashing the surrounding instruments and equipment to pieces. Ling Chen dodged the mutated radiation beast's attacks nimbly, while constantly looking for opportunities to counterattack. He knew that to defeat this powerful mutated creature, he had to find its weakness. Its weakness is the head. Su Yu's voice suddenly came, her fingers quickly tapping on the tablet, and the screen showed an X-ray of the mutated radiation beast's head. According to the X-ray, its head bone structure is relatively weak, and the brain's radiation protection ability is poor. Good. A flash of light flashed in Ling Chen's eyes. He knew the opportunity had come. He took a deep breath, concentrated all his energy, and his figure jumped up suddenly, jumping onto the back of the mutated radiation beast. Then, the dagger in his hand stabbed the mutated radiation beast's head like lightning. Pucci the dagger accurately pierced the mutated radiation beast's head, bringing out a foul-smelling green liquid. The mutated radiation beast let out a shrill scream, and its huge body crashed to the ground. Huff, huff. Ling Chen panted heavily, jumping off the mutated radiation beast's body. His body was already a little weak. Prolonged combat and radiation exposure had consumed a lot of his strength. Well done. Li Ming ran over excitedly and patted Ling Chen on the shoulder. You are so amazing. Ling Chen smiled slightly. He knew that Su Yu deserved the most credit for successfully defeating the mutated radiation beast this time. Her data analysis and accurate judgment provided him with key information support. He turned his head and looked at Su Yu, his eyes with a trace of gratitude. Thank you, Su Yu. If it weren't for you, I might not have been able to find its weakness so quickly. Su Yu looked at Ling Chen calmly, and in her eyes, there seemed to be less coldness and more gentleness. You're welcome, this is what I should do. You are also very good at seizing the opportunity and making a one-hit kill. We cooperated very well in this mission, Ling Chen said. He could feel that Su Yu's trust in him was gradually increasing. This trust is the foundation for them to continue to cooperate, and it is also the key for them to survive in the infinite realm. The cleanup mission is not over yet, let's move on, Su Yu said lightly, then turned and walked towards the depths of the radiology department. Her figure seemed more mysterious and charming in the dark corridor. Ling Chen looked at Su Yu's back, his heart full of anticipation. He knew that the next mission would be more dangerous and more exciting. And the trust between him and Su Yu will continue to sprout and grow in this test after test. In the crisis-ridden infinite realm, trust is a treasure more precious than gold. With each other's trust, they can work hand in hand, overcome all difficulties, and eventually achieve their own legend. The horn of progress has been sounded, and Ling Chen led his team to continue advancing into the depths of the abandoned hospital. Their only goal is to completely eliminate all sources of infection in the hospital, complete the time-limited task issued by the system, and find their own way of survival in this cruel world.
Let's stop reading the novel here. See you in the next chapter. Please follow us.